Okay. Yes, you may have to hit accept. Okay, great. Well, everybody, I am with my friends, Kathleen and Noe. I had a chance to meet Noe, I think almost a year ago now, in January 2024. We collaborated together on a project in Canilla, Guatemala, and I was just moved by his heart, his passion, his energy. He was just on it and very present, and we had some conversations during that week, and we certainly kept in touch since then. And I was so glad to have met his wife, Kathleen. When now, I think in October. I was in Guatemala in October. We had a chance to share time in Antigua, Guatemala, one of my favorite places in the world. And it was my wife and myself along with them too. And we just caught up. We talked life. We prayed together a bit as well. And I had a chance to learn about their story, where it's been, where it is now, and where they're hoping for it to go or aspiring for it to go, and their utilization of their hands, their hearts, and their words. So, and the foundation of this conversation, I'm looking forward to continuing to learn more about them, and whoever else is learning, listening to this conversation, give them the chance to learn about them as well. So, thank you all so much for sharing time.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. And yeah, and remember when we met in January, we talked about this time if we collaborate together.
Yeah.
And it was a special time, and I had in my memory, and when I has had a good vision and God give us, so like I want to talk to Efos about this, and I'm excited. And what he thinking about.
Mhm.
We're excited and encouraged to see how God leads us and guides us together, and hope that this can be encouraging to whoever else might hear today.
I love it. I love it. So, well, I would love for us to start talking about your stories, Noe and Kathleen. Over the last couple of years and more, you've been participating in different ways in different projects in Guatemala. Please share some about that and how it shaped you, some of your work.
Yeah, I am from Guatemala,
Mhm.
and it's very interesting then to see how is God is preparing us to God at this point, like a missionary full time. And if we have say back to
We look
we
back.
look back, it's precious because God is has his finger, her hand, or whatever I was doing. So also my first language it's Quiche, who's Mayan
Mhm.
Quiche, and my second language it's Spanish, and this is my third language. It's why I a little bit.
No, no, you're so much more impressive than me. I speak one and a half languages. English, and I barely speak Spanish. So that's one of the things you inspire me. You speak three, Spanish and English. So this is pretty neat. So yes, continue, please.
Yeah, and so I born in Guatemala in rural and Chichicastenango, which is a place. It's a lot of culture Mayan, and the most of people it's like Mayan, 95%. So
Mhm.
uh, I when I was 14 years old, I choose to walk in God because my father is showing us about God, but and I started in 2012 to involve with ministry, and I met with Jennifer Hoynes, who is a ministry missionary from United States, and she encouraged and inspired me to study physical therapy.
Mhm.
So in this time, I didn't know what's physical therapy, and I choose to trust and to study physical therapy. And the second years and the and my university, we have a trip university in my in town, and I visit a center who
Mhm.
is working with disability, and it's a special time because open my eyes to see the needs around me.
Mhm.
After that, I started to work in a ministry which is work with healthcare and given a mobile clinic in different community and Santa Cruz del Quiché or Quiché, which is a department. and also on the coast. And my basically my work is to go and to visit different community
Hmm.
and give healthcare with physical therapy. But just a beautiful time because God has given me a lot of tool, a lot of knowledge about ministry, about missions. So it's just a special time. And when I finished my degree, I was work with Health Talents, which is a ministry.
Hmm.
And also this ministry has a lot of role in my life because has people then he's encouraged me always
Hmm.
to to study physical therapy and yeah to
They gave you a scholarship too
yeah
to study.
yeah
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah they give me a scholarship because where I born, it's like uh, I was in a poverty situation, and
Hmm.
so I see then I can't to study in university. Maybe I just stay and work in somewhere, but I never thought that I'm gonna work in with physical therapists, which is a grace of God.
Well, your story has been pretty amazing and how it's unfolded over time. You at the age of 14, you opened your heart to God, which is pretty neat. And that's foundational. I'll speak personally, right? That idea of God as our bedrock. And then Jennifer, I had a chance to meet Jennifer early this year. So that's great how you were present enough to connect with her and her to see something in you to guide you to want to dive into PT, and then you start your education and then that disability center, it also sounded like it had an impact in your life, what you saw, so to speak. So your faith diving into a profession, like you said, you didn't know anything about going into that profession, staying open, staying present, staying observing, and then also continuing on even at during and after graduation and going to places, from what I understand, in need, in the coast, in different villages, maybe places that people are oftentimes unseen or underserved. There's that great quote by Steve Jobs. He goes, "You can only connect the dots looking backwards." So hearing what you shared so far, it makes more sense of what I know about you, where you are now.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really good because when we married in 2018, also God is cross our way
Our
to
past,
our
yeah.
Mm.
paths together, and so started a different like
Check.
chapter of our life
Mhm.
because born our first daughter, and
Mhm.
it's hard to us to keep doing this ministry like
True.
moving in different places.
Mhm.
So, and we got pandemic also. It's like a time. It's a little. It's a hard. I think maybe
Everyone.
for the everyone for the world. So for us too, but also we can recognize that God is working in this time too, because I we decided to open our center, which is gonna do it's a side of our ministry.
Mhm.
So we open to serve the population in Chichicastenango. And in this time, and like 3 years before, I be part of a grace seminary, which is an special for me because my relationship with God, it's not deeper, it's like superficial. And I thought then all the things that's happening in my life, it's with my strong, with my how to say fuerza,
Your own
The
strength.
strength.
strength. Yeah, but I recognize in this time and then always, then I decided it's for grace. And at this point, I decided to trust more in God and to trust in my new identity. And so it is a special time because it's help a relationship, have help my relationship with God. It's more deeper. It's I'm working to trust and I help and healing a relationship with my family, with my wife, and it's beautiful. Then God is working in my life, and now I understand now it's not my strength, it's God is working in mine
Mm.
through His Holy Spirit. So it's why we decided to keep working and trust to serve more people, to share this experience we have, to share the grace then God give to me, and I want to share this to another people. It's why our ministry name, See and Heard.
Mm. I love that. Ooh, I love that. So thank you for sharing that, Noe. And Kathleen, your story, your becoming, so to speak.
Yeah, so I grew up in a Christian home in the States. We moved around serving in different ministries stateside.
Mhm.
But from a very young age, I made a decision to follow God personally.
Mhm.
And I remember as a child, my father would read stories of missionaries in Africa and Asia. And something about them always stood out to me as like, no, this is what I want to do for like my life. My life's going to be a story like this. And I thought Africa was the destination, but in 2009, not 2019, 2009, I had the opportunity to come to Guatemala, on a short-term trip. And God took my view from Africa to Guatemala and said, "That's where I want you." So I couldn't get Guatemala out of my head when I returned home. I graduated from high school, went and studied Spanish in South America and Chile, with the intent to come back to Guatemala full term. And I didn't know how or when, but in 2013, my whole family moved down,
Mm.
which was huge. Not many people have that opportunity to share such a different experience with their family. And so I count that as a great blessing. But anyway, we moved down. I began working and serving in the ministry that my parents moved down to serve with. And that ministry had opened a group home for special needs children.
Mm.
So I was a nanny with the special needs. The same year he started studying to work with people like that, I
Yeah.
began working. So it was really cool to look back and see how God was working in each of us at
Mhm.
the same time. Um, with the same purpose
Yeah.
and end goal. So that's really cool. But then in 2014, so that was 2013, I moved down. 2014, I scaled back from that nanny position as I realized I needed more muscle to be able to do that job, and I didn't have it. So my body couldn't put up with the demand, but I became involved with a ministry that serves through art. Art processing and sharing the gospel through those tools of art. And so before that, I've always been an artist, but I didn't recognize that it could be a tool to reach others with the gospel message. And so I was just like blown away by the opportunity to use something I love and then something I'm passionate about and see those two join. And so I became involved with that ministry. The ministry is called Authenticos.
Mm.
In 2014, became more and more involved. And then when I met Noe, um, I continued involvement, but then once we got married and I had my first child, it became a little bit difficult. And then pandemic hit. And so I took a pause with Authenticos, and concentrated on our family for a while. Um, but last year in the fall, they called me up and said, Kathlyn, we have an opportunity to go to Honduras and train Honduran missionaries who serve in youth detention centers. They want to use our curriculum with these youth. And so they're asking us to come and train them.
Mhm.
And but the problem is we don't have anybody that's available to do that.
Mhm.
Would you consider going? And I went, wow, that sounds great. Yeah, that I'd love that. And they said, can we send someone with you? And I said, can I recommend who that be? And they said, yeah, yeah, that sure. I said, can Noe please go with me? And they were like, we love that. That'd be great.
Mhm.
So we got to serve together, sharing in that art element of ministry. And while we were there, really felt like God was saying, I want you all to serve together. This is what I want for you. Um, at It was a short-term experience in the moment, but we're like, how do we do this full term? How can we do that? So we came home with that question
Mhm.
and then began a Bible study on experiencing God, and he just confirmed the people around you, I'm at work in their lives, and I want to use you all to continue that work. And the giftings that I've given Noe and physical therapy, and you and art, and I've given you the center um, to do that. And so we were like, okay, we hear you, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and we applied for to be missionaries through the Ministry of Cornerstone International. And so yeah, that's our story up to this point,
Wow.
and fast forward, but
I love
it's
that. I love that. And looking forward to hearing more specifics about the mission and the project. But even before we dive into that, what strikes me with you two is how open you are, and that's a statement in itself, to listening to God's will, discernment, and there's been planting of seeds within you. Whether it's the 2009, I think it was 2009 where you took the first trip to Guatemala, and how that's been taking root and flowering, and that's led you to some of the vocational aspirations you have now. That's led you to your partner in life and your growing family, and I do love that part in the journey in which you guys had a chance to serve together in Honduras. I believe you said, and the fusing of it's all one thing. It is catalyzing well-being and thriving in others, right? Through different means, art, movement, health, hands, and art. Don't get me started on art. I love art, painting and poetry, So from the inside out, the outside in, through the eyes, through the ears, through touch, how could healing be facilitated in ways that are scalable and sustainable? Is the question of adventure. All right, Kathleen and Noe. So tell me now about where your ruminations, where your experiences have taken you. Tell me about the mission and the structure as is right now.
Yeah, and like I tell before, our ministry is the name is Seen and Heard
Seeing and heard.
because we want to share about the grace of God, to continue to share. We can't to stop. And we have unique gifts from God,
Mhm.
and we want to use that in our community because we want to impact the community. And one of that, and we want to focus about, it's to restoring relationship through God. We recognize that God, how say God, uh, is give us we are from imaging of God.
Mhm.
So we recognize that God is a God in relationship because the Holy Spirit, the God, the Son, and also we have people relations with another.
Mhm.
And when the scene through Adam and Eve, God, that relationship is broken, and that relationship is broken, and this is it's like, and we want to be part of the mission, restoring the relationship.
Mhm.
One of has primary relationship. The first one is a relationship with God. The second one, relationship with on ourselves, relationship with another, and relationship with the creation. So that's why we want to be missionary, restoring the relationship, not just like physically or just like material or poverty. We want to be like a tool from God to build restoration, the relationship firstly with the God, with another, with the relationship with the community and the rest of creation.
Mhm. Mhm.
So our goal is to build community through physical therapy, caring for people's physical needs, emotional support through art processing, and those being the tools to open doors to relationship building where we can share at a heart level with those that come into our doors. So
So physical healing and emotional healing for the individuals that may be your end beneficiaries of people in the community that you're treating, and creating more optionality and tools so they can live fully and engage with others and build relationships with the world around them, with their faith, their family, their friends, and things of that nature. Yeah.
they can also seen and heard.
Seen and heard. Yeah, because there's so many that are under unseen and like we said, underserved, So how do we bring light to those folks who are suffering in silence or in the darkness? The folks that sometimes are passed every day and nobody and folks and individuals don't take a second thought or a second look to them. So how are you guys? How are you guys bringing this mission to, what's the idea of bringing this mission to people? Are these people that you hope to collaborate with them on their healing journey? How do they know about you? What's the dynamic of how you make manifest your mission?
So Noe has a clinic that he mentioned starting in the throes of COVID.
Hmm.
Um, so in 2020, he's been attending or seeing patients there since then, and has made a name in Chichicastenango.
Hmm.
People travel actually to come and see him from other departments as well. So as we are blending, we're going to continue using that space and that name that he has, and then offering other services from that same location. And so that will begin in the new year. We haven't begun, as this has been our we have been getting the word out in this season. So our goal is to offer the support and people's healing, emotional and physical, um, through these opportunities, but offering that to whoever needs it, whether they have the financial ability to pay or not. And so we are offering this service to at a lower than usual rate, to be able to incorporate more people in the community. And then also being aware of whether people are able to give at all, and sensitive to those needs as well.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
respond to those cases and give them the care they need as well. So
Yeah,
Hmm.
and we are committed to to teach about in my case about physical therapy. We want to teach to teach to the local people how to help people with disability. We want to involve the community. We want the family and
empower.
empower the family, the church, uh, empower how to help the
Mhm.
people with disability in the community.
Hmm.
So because in this year we feel a lot of community, and
Mhm.
community it's really one of a reason. Then the disability, it's recovery, restoring, it's need help, need
Hmm.
people to do that. So we want to commit it to do that, to
Hmm.
empower more people and
Mhm.
help them community.
I
So
love it.
yeah.
I love it. That's a theme that I keep on hearing you talk about. You both talk about that idea of community. So, if I'm summarizing to make sure I understand, so I can even share this with others as well. So, is it promoting a physical and emotional healing through at least the portals of different artistic expressions and physical therapy, so as to build community and equip people with the tools to participate more fully in the community that they're in.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Beautiful, 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 beautiful mission.
Our main
So,
ministry site is our holistic care center where those things will be operating. And then we will also visit families that have the need,
mhm.
whether they're not able to get to us because of this physical limitations or
Hmm.
financial limitations, but to bring community to them. As often
Hmm.
we see
Hmm.
that as a big obstacle for families with special needs.
Hmm. So you have an active mission. It's on a mission that goes on the road, huh? So that's great. So you have your fixed location, but you also be going to homes and families. Love that so very much. So very much. So then Kathleen, Noe and Kathleen, what's next? What are the next steps? It sounds like some things maybe next stepping in some ways in January. What are your next couple of months, hopefully and ideally look like?
Yeah, we are in this basically the last 3 or 4 months. We are building this ministry. We have experience, but like we feel like I say our personal experience, and we want to use these experiences to build this ministry to build a community supporter to do this mission from God. And next year we are thinking that we want to start this mission in February next year. We want to involve more in this, and also we want to how say uh, starting to open our center, and also we want to available to help another ministry who wants how say needs to empower the physical therapy or promoter people, local people who is working with disability.
Hmm.
So yeah, and this is our future, and that's why we are inviting more people in this ministry. We want because we recognize personality. Then I I working by myself, and maybe I can impact, but not too much if we work together with more people, a community, building a community
Hmm.
and support a team. And if we work together, we can do more impact. We can impact more people, you know. It's like yeah, we can do this just us, and we want to invite more people in this mission.
I love that. Kathleen, before you supplement, a quote comes to mind is an African proverb. It goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And so you're speaking about togetherness. So Kathleen, please add to that if you have any thoughts.
So we are, like he was saying, in a big building season, building our support community, but also we have been doing trainings. We have more trainings to go to equip ourselves to be able to give well to these people. And so the next 6 weeks really are focused on that. Our goal is to be fully funded for this mission starting February.
Mhm.
It looks rough and intimidating, but we know that he is able to do that. So that's where we're at, recognizing that, like he said, involving more people in this is only going to impact more. So that's our goal.
Yeah.
Mhm. So maybe I'm going to bridge a question or two. To achieve this goal or these goals, what do you all need? And it's going to be maybe a bridge question, maybe in two parts of how could people collaborate alongside you? Could folks like to also collaborate, also contribute from a distance if they can't come alongside you? But first, what are some needs that you have?
Yeah, and we are looking for different way that you can support us. And I think the first one is about the prayers, because
Mhm.
we recognize that God is his mission. It's he's working and different word sustaining his mission.
Mhm.
So we are just like he is inviting to us to be
Mhm.
part of this mission.
Mhm.
So prayer, it's the one of our goal. Then we want more people praying for us to do this mission in Guatemala, and also volunteering, because we have art camping with ministry. So we are inviting more people to have an experience how to use art and process an emotion, and also uses this tool to show the gospel.
Mhm.
And another thing, it's about resources. It can be
Resources.
yeah, it can be like a material for physical therapy, material for art camp, material for everything we need here. One of that. It's like we are looking for a connection. Yeah. Also, we like we're talking about community. We recognize then we connection if we connecting with more ministry, with more yeah, ministry or people who is has a heart to help. Yeah, it's like we're looking for people then even a connection different ministry
Mhm.
in United States or in Guatemala. So like yeah, working together and like a team, like a community.
Mhm.
So another thing, it's about how say Kathlyn,
Which one?
how say supported like for
Financial.
Financially. Yeah, financially, because we are mission full time, and so we need to keep living because we have a family. We have
Hmm.
a like we need to pay for like rent of the clinic, and we need to keep this ministry. And so we are looking for also people who wants to support us for financially monthly. And it's better if you can't, also you can do give an you can give a gift for a special, like say special project and in our
Hmm.
ministry.
Hmm. Can you list those again without the descriptions from top to bottom? I think the first one is prayer and just go down so I can write that down. Any,
Prayer,
yeah.
volunteering, resources,
Hmm.
art material or
Mhm.
physical therapy equipment,
Connection,
connections with
Hmm.
others, and then
finance.
financial
That's
support.
great. I think the fact that it's so focused, I think it could tell you guys brought so much intention to this. And then for folks who your mission speaks to, they now know ways in which they can engage through prayer by volunteering alongside you, resources, whether it's doing supply drives. I work with different groups. I used to do these large supply drives in the US, and I brought down a ton of stuff to Guatemala over the years, walkers, crutches, this and that. So there's a lot of things in different places that are still in good use, but for whatever reason are not still being used. So things to consider there. Connections is I love that connections in Guatemala and around the world. Again, that proverb of going far, and then finances to support. You both and your family have dedicated yourself to a mission. And for those who want to see this mission manifest, by supporting you through financial along with the other ways, they could support the sustaining and the scaling of the efforts, so to speak. So I love that. I love that. I love that so much. Where could where could people leaning to these things that you just, where could they learn more about you? How could they walk the path of one or some of these options to support See and Heard? That's the name, right? Seen and Heard. Where, how, and all that. How can we dive in closer to you all
Yeah.
with?
So as I mentioned, we applied for to be missionaries through Cornerstone International,
Mhm.
and that is a mission sending organization that helps support us through physical, emotional, and spiritual care. We do fundraise. They don't support us in financial ways, but our financial support comes channeled through them.
Mhm.
So we have a landing page on their website. So cornerstoneinternational.org.
Mhm.
And you can find us. We're the first missionary on
Mhm.
their mission. You click missionaries, and that the first
Great.
one's so you can find us there and you can find ways to contact us there as well. Um, yeah, did I answer the question?
You did, and wherever we post this, and at least some of the different places, we'll aim to put a link, a hyperlink to
Wonderful.
that. You guys obviously probably have a localized page that's also going to be forward slash, I'm sure, so we could paste that. Well, that's great. So in this final part of the conversation, are there final thoughts or ideas or anything on your heart that you want to share in this space?
We're just really grateful for this opportunity, Ifosa. It is exciting to see the creativity that you have
Mhm.
and the interest and desire to encourage. So we are already encouraged, and we have no idea what more God wants to do. So we thank you. Um, we have seen him provide in incredible ways over the past couple of months, though we do have a few like big needs, prayer
Mhm.
concerns
Mhm.
that we'd like to ask that you all pray for us,
Mhm.
and that is getting Noe to the States for the trainings we mentioned.
Mhm.
Um, we are walking in faith and doing what we can to make that happen, but he's going to have to make it happen. So
Mhm.
we ask for prayer for that, and whether if that falls through, that we'd have peace and wisdom and walking and what that looks like. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I want to invite people, maybe someone to say, then I don't know how can I help. I think God give us different gifts to us, and wherever you want to give, I think we you can support it different way. I don't know if it
Mhm.
makes sense.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh yeah, and also physical therapy, it's like a beautiful how to say job, because it's a humanity job. And if we are involved with more PT also, I love
Encouraging.
this. I love, yeah, and I love this work, and God give to me. And when we met Fossa in January, I feel an special, uh, different, because I met with different PTs in United States. It's like encouraged me, because I thought I have struggles, and I thought it's just my struggle. I saw that the struggle it's around the world. That's United States too, with the people, because sometimes it's hard, because to see just the needs with to the people with disability.
Hmm.
So yeah, I want to invite you all, if you want to involve in ministry. I think it's ministries from God, and just we are just like an how say like an
Just a tool.
just a tool from God.
Hmm. Well, I
Anybody's welcome to join, be another tool.
I love that so much. Well, thank you all for sharing. It is so refreshing to see the journey that you're in. Like I said, how open you are to hear your calling, heed your calling, and honor your calling, so to speak, and you're living it out. So great to hear more of it. I look forward to the journeys to come, so to speak. You all know I love Guatemala so very much. So more to come. So we'll share this with the community that may listen to this in different ways. And everybody that listens to this, I'll encourage you to really think about if this beautiful mission speaks to you. Think about the different ways that you could support Noe and Kathleen, their family, their efforts, their mission, and an extension, all the people that they may be engaging with in the time to come. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you.